We're gonna try this again. I unplugged my microphone because it didn't seem to be working, and then it just ended my event. At least on my end, it ended it. I don't know what it did for anyone watching. So, if you are watching and you are able to comment and let me know if you're here, just so I know that it's actually working, and also if you can hear me, that would be awesome. So I'm gonna just jump back in where I left off and hopefully make some sense. We're gonna start tonight, Rainbow Reads with Miss Rachel, with You Be You, The Kid's Guide to Gender, Sexuality, and Family by Jonathan Bramfman, illustrated by Julie Ben-Bassat. And this is, I'm going to read part of it, and hopefully you'll check it out and read the whole thing because it's too long for tonight. It's published by Jessica Kingsley Publishers. It has 11 different sections. I hate to call them chapters because they're not that long. But I especially have wanted to read this one for a long time with you because one of the libraries in Montgomery County received a challenge to this book. That means somebody submitted a complaint about this book saying that it wasn't appropriate to be in libraries. And that makes me feel even more strongly that I would like to spread the word that we have this book and that it absolutely belongs in libraries. It has starred reviews, and it is quality book, and has every right to be there. So I hope you will enjoy this partial reading and maybe check it out for your family afterwards. Chapter 1 is Getting Started. People have lots of funny ideas about boys, girls, and love. Like maybe you've heard the idea that everyone has to be a boy or a girl. Hold on a second. This is telling me there's comments, but I can't see them. Sounds great. Sounds good. Yay. Okay. Thank you. And hi to Casey and Oliver and Aaron. And that every boy will grow up to be a man and fall in love with a woman, and that every girl will grow up to be a woman and fall in love with a man. And maybe you've heard that everyone who falls in love has to get married. And that everyone who gets married has to have children. And maybe you've heard that all boys should like the color blue and play sports and wear pants, and that only girls should like pink and play with dolls and wear dresses. Well, surprise! These ideas aren't true, and that is great news. Every person is different, and that's what we call diversity. This diversity is a beautiful thing. Chapter 2, I'm just going to read a little bit from this chapter. The sexes. Maybe you've heard that there are two sexes, male and female. When you're born, the doctor assigns you a sex based on what body parts you have. People who aren't male or female are called intersex. And being intersex, male or female, are all great. Just like the world has tons of different colors, not just blue and pink, people's bodies come in all different types. And just like every color is beautiful and good, so is every type of body. Chapter 3 is gender. Sex is how people name bodies with different parts. Gender is how people expect those bodies to act. For example, some people expect a female person to like pink dresses and expect a male person to like playing football. These expectations are called stereotypes. Stereotypes are when you think you know all about a person just by how they look, where they live, or how they speak. For example, assuming that you know how smart someone is, what they're good at, and what they like to do for fun. But actually, stereotypes are silly. No matter what kind of body you have, you can like any type of color, clothing, food, or activity. So no matter what body parts you have, You can wear blue and pink and yellow and green and anything else. And you can like football and dolls and swimming and anything you think is fun. Chapter 4 is gender identity. It's how you see yourself as a boy, a girl, or other gender. Maybe you've heard that every male person must see himself as a boy or a man, and that every female person must see herself as a girl or a woman. But guess what? That's not so. A person's sex, what kind of body they have, doesn't decide their gender identity, how they see themselves. So, whether you have a male body, a female body, or an intersex body, you might see yourself as a boy, a girl, or a different gender, like gender queer or gender non-binary, and that's fine. If your gender identity matches the sex you were assigned at birth, you're called cisgender. For example, if you were assigned female and you identify as a girl, you are a cisgender girl. If your gender identity doesn't match the sex you were assigned at birth, you're called transgender. For example, if you were assigned male at birth and identify as a girl, you're a transgender girl. And some people don't identify as either boys or girls. Many people who feel this way identify as gender non-binary, gender queer, gender non-conforming, or gender fluid. And being cisgender, transgender, gender queer, and gender non-conforming are all great. All right, let's see. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. This is a long one. The chapters that I'm skipping, just so you know, in case you would like to borrow this book, are Love and Attraction, Having Kids, Discrimination, Privilege, and Intersectionality. And I'm going to hop back on, or back into the book at chapter 10, Being an Ally. Being an ally. An ally is someone who stands up against discrimination, even discrimination that doesn't hurt them personally. So basically, an ally uses their privilege, which you can read more about in the other chapter of this book called Privilege, to support people facing discrimination, which you can read more about in the discrimination chapter. For example, an ally can be a straight person who helps gay people fight homophobia. An ally can also be a cisgender person who helps genderqueer and transgender people fight transphobia. And an ally can be a cisgender or transgender man who helps women fight against sexism. How do you be an ally? Well, first, you make sure you never say or do anything mean to anybody or about anybody just because they're different from you in some way. Second, listen to what other people say about their own life experience and believe them. For example, if you're a boy, you might be very surprised to hear what problems girls and women face from sexism. You might feel so surprised that it's hard at first to believe them, but remember, they're the ones who are facing sexism firsthand, so they know, and you should learn from them. The same thing goes if you're a straight person, listening to gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, and asexual people, or a cisgender person listening to transgender people. Third, if you hear or see discrimination, do something about it. For example, if you hear classmates tell mean jokes about gay people, or see them insulting a woman, or see them hitting a transgender person, tell a teacher or your parents. And you can even tell the mean people to stop if it's safe for you to talk to them. You can also go up to the person they were hurting and say kind, supportive things. Chapter 11. You be you. So remember, there are many kinds of people in the world, and this diversity is a good thing. No matter what kind of body you have, and no matter what gender you identify with, and no matter who you're attracted to, that's great. And whether you want to get married or not, and want to have kids or not, that's wonderful too. And whenever you meet someone who's different from you, you should always be nice to them and help them fight discrimination. You be you and help others be themselves. The title again is You Be You, The Kid's Guide to Gender, Sexuality, and Family. I thought that a good follow-up book after that one is not particularly an LGBTQ plus themed book, but it's a great one for lots of reasons. It's called Say Something by Peter H. Reynolds. And it's about kids saying something, standing up for people, fighting discrimination and other bad stuff. And this is a really encouraging book to help give kids the courage to say things when they need to speak up. I'm not going to read all of these, but I love, these are called the end papers, what you see on the inside cover of books. I love the end papers, but I'm not going to read all those. They're just examples of lots of things that you can say. This is published by Orchard Books, which is an imprint of Scholastic. My friends, the world needs your voice. Mine? Yep, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect, as long as it is from your heart. You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. You can say something in so many ways, with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, say something by just being there for them. If you see an empty canvas, say something with your brush. If you see an empty lot, say something by planting a seed and watching it bloom. If you see someone being hurt, say something by being brave. Hey, stop! If you see something beautiful, say something with a poem. If you have a brilliant idea, say something with confidence. If you want to show the world who you are, say something with style. And if you know other people who like to express themselves with their clothing, make sure that you stick up for them if anyone else has anything bad to say about how they're expressing their style. If you are angry, say something to help people understand. This person says, "You made me feel invisible. That really hurt." And this person says, "I'm really sorry." They might not always say they're sorry, but they definitely won't if they don't know that they hurt you. This is a great page. If you see an injustice, say something peacefully. This friend's sign says, "No more hurting people. Peace." Inspire others to do the same. Make more light. Shalom, which means peace. And this is peace spelled out with ASL. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening. But keep saying what is in your heart, and you will find someone who listens. Keep saying it, and you may be surprised to find the whole world is listening. If you are grateful for being alive, quietly say something to the stars, to the universe. Some people find it easier to say something than others, but everyone has something to say. All these children have hopes and wishes and beliefs and dreams, and they are ready to change the world together. So when you're ready, say something. Your voice can inspire, heal, and transform. Your voice can change the world. Are you ready to say something? I wonder what it is that you have to say. I hope that it's something that is sticking up for people or speaking the truth about who you are. But whatever it is, if you're speaking the truth, you can change the world. So I hope you will use your voice and say something. And so does the author, Peter Reynolds. All right, my friends. This next book is probably a little too babyish for the age group that this program Rainbow Reads is geared towards, but I just can't help myself. I have to read this one because it is so much fun, and I'm going to apologize to you that I'm actually probably going to sing it instead of read it because there's just no other way to do it. And so even if you feel like maybe you're a little too old for this, you might even want to check it out just to enjoy it at home. Or maybe you have younger siblings who might like it too. It's called, sorry about the glare, The Hips on the Drag Queen Go Swish, Swish, Swish by Lil Miss Hot Mess. Illustrated by Olga de Dios. The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 swish. The hips on the drag queen go swish, 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 all through the town. And look at how much more colorful the town is when they are going through and swishing their hips compared to this gray and dreary part of the town. The hair on the drag queen goes up, 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 up. Look at all that big hair. The hair on the drag queen goes up, 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 all through the town. The shoes on the drag queen go stomp, 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 stomp. Look at all the fabulous shoes. The shoes on the drag queen go stomp, 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 all through the town. The jewels on the drag queen go bling, 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 bling. The jewels on the drag queen go bling, 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 all through the town. The shoulders on the drag queen go shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Do you know what that means? To shimmy your shoulders. Go like this. Can you shimmy, shimmy, shimmy? Shimmy, 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 shimmy. The shoulders on the drag queen go shimmy, 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 all through the town. The cheeks on the drag queen go blush, blush, blush. Blush, blush, blush. Blush, blush, blush. The cheeks on the drag queen go blush, blush, blush. All through the town. The fingers on the drag queen go snap, snap, snap. Snap, snap, snap. Snap, snap, snap. The fingers on the drag queen go snap, 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 all through the town. The mouth on the drag queen says blah, 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 blah. The mouth on the drag queen goes blah, 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 all through the town. The dance of the drag queen goes twirl, 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 twirl. The dance of the drag queen goes twirl, 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 all through the town. Now, just look at the town. So full of color compared to the first page when you look at the town. It's so gray and dreary. But the drag queens danced and twirled and blinged their way through, and how beautiful and colorful things are now. And on these end papers, I don't know for sure, but I think that the drag queens featured in this book are actually based on real people. And these, it has their names, the names of the different drag queens featured in the book. So thank you for tolerating me singing that one to you. I always have more books than I have time, so I think I will try this one. Actually, the last two that I was hoping to read are pretty short, so we might have time for both. This one is called A Tale of Two Daddies by Vanita Oilschlager. I might have messed that up. Illustrations by Kirsten Blackwood and Mike Blanc. And there's another one called A Tale of Two Mommies. It's similar. So if you like this one, know that there's a companion book featuring mommies. If you'd like to try that one too. This is published by Vanita Books. A Tale of Two Daddies. I gotta get my chair right here. Okay, here we go. My friend Lincoln says, you have two dads. That's right, Papa and Daddy. Who's your dad when your hair needs braids? Who's your dad when you're afraid? Papa's the one when I need braids. Daddy is there when I'm afraid. Which dad would build your house in a tree? And which dad helps you when you skin your knee? Papa's the one who builds in a tree. Daddy's the one who fixes my knee. Which dad helps when your team needs a coach? Which dad cooks you eggs and toast? Daddy is my soccer coach. Papa cooks me eggs and toast. Who's the dad who helps you with homework? And which dad helps you when you're covered with dirt? Both my dads help with my math, but Papa's the dad who helps in the bath. Which one makes your birthday cake? Who is the one who stays up late? Daddy makes my birthday cake. Neither one likes to stay up late. It looks like She does, though, doesn't it? Which dad helps you with the litter box? Which dad helps you match your socks? Papa helps clean Kitty's litter box, and I'm big enough to match my own socks. Who's your dad when chasing your dog? Who's your dad for catching some frogs? Neither dad can catch my dog, but both of them can catch a frog. Which dad helps when your day begins? Who is there to tuck you in? Papa's awake when my day begins. Both of my daddies tuck me in. Who is your dad when you're sad and need some love? Both, of course. I love this book because it shows that whether you have two daddies or two mommies or maybe one of each or maybe just one, a mom or a dad, or any other different type of family, different grown-ups in your family, different grown-ups who love you, all have special ways that they help take care of you. And it doesn't matter who does what, as long as you know that there are grown-ups in your life who love you and can take care of you in their own special way. All right, I'm going to read one more. This is a pretty short one about pronouns. It's called they, she, he, me. Free to be. And I have read a book by Maya and Matthew, the authors, before at Rainbow Reads. They have several books, and I'm not going to read everything back here, but it has a little conversation or a little discussion about pronouns. So that helps in understanding the book a little bit, but it also has different activities and ideas, all kinds of stuff at the back of the book. So we encourage you to check this one out and read some of those activities. But the basic idea is that when you were born, you were probably given a pronoun, and it was probably he or she. But as you get older and you know yourself more and more on the inside, some of the ideas of she and he might fit you perfectly, or they might not. And so you might not want to use the pronouns he or she as you get older, and that's okay. This book just shows us, with beautiful, beautiful illustrations, a bunch of different pronouns and a bunch of pictures of people who have chosen those pronouns. And they are free to be any of those. Me, 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 me. We can all say that, right? We're all a me. Me, 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 me. He, 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 he. Maybe you look at these pictures and you think, that person doesn't look like a he. But what matters is what that person feels that represents them best and that they have chosen to use as their pronoun. So these people are all he, 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 and he. Now we have some she's. she, 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 she. She, she, and she, she, and she, and she. Now, some people don't want to use he or she, and they choose the pronoun they. So let's look at some people who identify as they. They, 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 and they. Just a note about the pronoun they. If you don't know someone's pronouns, if you don't know if they use he or she, it's usually safe to use the pronoun they. So instead of saying, you see somebody doing something and you're curious about, hey, what is she doing? Instead of saying she or he, you say, hey, what are they doing? It might sound a little funny to you at first, but you can really get used to it. You can call someone they if you don't know their name and you don't know their pronouns, and that's usually a safe pronoun to use for people if you don't know. Let's look at some more theys. They, 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 they. Now, here are some really creative ones, and not a lot of people use these now, but we might see as the years go by more and more people using different pronouns besides just he, she, and they. And one of the books I read before by the same authors talked about some of these unusual and new and exciting pronouns. Tree, Z, tree, Z, tree, Z. Just like we could all say me for ourselves, we can also say we for all the people together in a group. We. And then you get to all the helpful, informational, and resources and ideas in the back. Also, I just love the illustrations and the artwork and the color schemes in this book. So, that's all for this evening. I'm sorry for our technical difficulties at the beginning. If you stuck it out with us, I want to thank you. I'm so happy that you joined us, whether it was live tonight or if you're watching at a different time, to really enjoy some important literature for kids that can help them in the world that they experience every day, to be true to themselves, to be true to other people, to be understanding and supportive, and to create the future society that we want to live in. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your kids with me and your time with me, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.